Tonight on Daytime Buffalo, Buddies is back with the pup looking for his forever home from the City of Buffalo Animal Shelter. And later, Bryant and Stratton College has their eye on your education with their partnership for a career pathway program that's supporting student success beyond the classroom. It's all coming up right now on Daytime Buffalo. Segment is sponsored by Earthwi's Pet Hamburg. Good afternoon, hello, and welcome to Daytime Buffalo. I'm your host, Chelsea Lavelle. Well, joining me now with a long-term resident of the City of Buffalo Animal Shelter looking for his forever home is Julie Starr from Buddy Second Chance Rescue. Welcome, Julie. Tell us who you brought in today.
Yeah, so today we have our dear friend Gretchen Sullivan, and we have Prince. So Gretchen is not only a foster and volunteer with us at Buddies, but she also volunteers at the City of Buffalo Animal Shelter and donates a lot of her time there helping the dogs get out.
All righty. Let's talk about Prince. Tell us a little bit about him and his story.
Sure. So Prince is about 2 years old. He is one of the longest term residents. So he's been there for, I think, about 106 days. And so you really hate to see whenever they get over 100 days. So we're trying to find him a foster home or an adopter. He is very playful. He loves toys, maybe like a little too much. He loves playing ball. He's working really with a trainer there who's teaching him to release and teaching him to sit when you throw. So there's lots of like things that he's learning even while he's at the shelter. He is great in the car, loves adventures. He's great at events. He does seem to get along with other dogs, female dogs, bigger, not smaller,
okay.
No cats. But yeah, even though he's been there for over 100 days, he still is like very spunky. He's very funny. He's just a little meatball, and it hasn't dimmed his spirits, which is great.
Great. Around how old did you say Prince is?
He's about 2 years old.
Okay.
Yep.
So what sort of family would be a good fit for him? You know, no small dogs, you said no cats, but what other characteristics would make a good home for him?
Yeah, I think a home that could still offer that little bit of structure where he just needs to learn things like release or drop, and that would be wonderful for him. He did live in a home with kids before he came to the shelter, but I think because he has that obsession with toys, we would just say like no small kids is probably a safe thing.
Yep.
But older, respectful kids that kind of understand, you know, how a dog like this operates, that would be good. He likes to go for walks, so a backyard is great, but I wouldn't say it's like necessary. Yeah. And so I think that would be, his ideal home. He does like activity, but he's also kind of a little couch potato. So.
He's the best of both worlds.
Yes.
So around how long does a dog need to be there for them to be considered a long-term dog?
So we want to see them out within, once they become adoptable, I think like that 60-day mark is really kind of above that is when it turns into a long-term dog. And there is a lot, like there's a lot of adoptions, but then it always seems like you have these like 5 or 6 long-term dogs that for whatever reason, they're usually just like wonderful dogs and they just get overlooked.
I know you mentioned that him being there long-term hasn't really affected his spirit, but for some of the other dogs that are there long-term, what are the effects on them?
So kennel stress is a big one. So it's just, you know, it's that same thing every single day. You're going in. The volunteers are wonderful. They're getting the dogs out as much as they can, but it's hard. It's volunteer based. So sometimes those dogs can be in there for long periods of time and they just get stressed out. It can be loud in there, you know, and it's not comfortable. It's not a home, you know, so they don't want to go back in, and they just start to, you can see their personalities like kind of just, You know,
breakdown.
yeah, the breakdown is real. So we really try to do a lot of enrichment and things like that to avoid them reaching that point.
And Julie, something so special about Buddies working with City of Buffalo Animal Shelters that you are a foster-based organization. So, you know, that in itself is really making a huge difference for these animals' lives, right?
Yeah, it's super important to us. We always talk about how, you know, when we first started the organization almost 14 years ago now, that we were, you know, strictly pulling from the South because we didn't have an issue here in Western New York. You went to the local shelters and there weren't a lot of dogs there. But now in the last few years, we've seen a shift in that where now we're experiencing the same crisis here in Western New York that we're seeing in the southern states. Maybe not as bad, but we're still seeing a crisis here where our city shelter is full all the time. They have pop-up kennels all the time because there's not enough kennels to house the dogs. So we, you know, as a foster-based, we can't force our fosters where they take the dogs from, but we will encourage them every single time. And Gretchen knows, as being part of both organizations, that we are constantly, you know, posting the dogs from City of Buffalo or from our local DCOs to try and encourage them to step up and foster our local dogs. You know, so we talk about going into the new year for 2026. One of our goals is to help more locally. We really want to make a difference here locally. We take in a ton of local medical dogs, whether it be from City of Buffalo, whether it be from local surrenders. My current foster now, who we're not sure if he's leaving or not, is a medical dog.
Your husband loves that, Julie.
Poor St. Jeffrey. He's, you know, he was a local medical dog. We really want to help make it. I just drove a dog up to Rochester yesterday who was a local dog whose leg was broken, and he went up for surgery yesterday. So we're needed here in our own community just as much as we're needed in our southern, you know, state partners, which we're not abandoning. They need us too, but we want to help both. We want to make a difference everywhere. And so, you know, having Gretchen on board with Buddies and with City of Buffalo helps because she's kind of a liaison for our volunteers to know, hey, these are the dogs I'm encountering at City of Buffalo. These are the ones that I think would be a good fit for you. And she helps also our volunteers, along with Dustin and Ruth and everybody else at the city shelter, put the right appropriate dog from the city shelter into the homes that we have at Buddies.
Absolutely.
So if anyone can open their home to foster, that's what we need the most. We cannot save lives without having fosters.
Yes. We are looking for Prince's Forever Home, but at the very least, we would love a foster for him. If you would like more information on Prince or any of the animals available at Buddies Second Chance and City of Buffalo Animal Shelter, first go to buddiesrescue.org. And if you'd like to sign up to foster or volunteer for the City of Buffalo Animal Shelter, you can visit friendsofcbas.org. This segment is sponsored by Earthwi's Pet Hamburg. Thanks so much for coming in,
Thanks
ladies.
for having us,
Thank
Chelsea.
you.